This year we had a ton of new solar gear released. Some really truly impactful products hit the market, and so did some really truly trash products. But today we are going to stick to our unbiased, unsponsored favorite solar gear that was released in 2025 to help you guys make sure that when you spend your hard-earned money, it doesn't go to waste. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. Today we're going to be covering a couple battery, inverter, and solar panels and solar panel stand options that we really liked this year. We already have 2 videos dedicated to power stations. We have one for smaller power stations, good for camping or power on the go. We have another video for bigger power stations, which is more for like home backup. So if you guys are looking for some of that information, you can go check out those videos. And we have also negotiated some really good deals coming up for Black Friday. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you do not miss those videos come Black Friday. Tiny Baby has worked long and hard to make sure that we can get some discount codes to share with you guys that are quite possibly some of the best codes on the internet. Any product that we talk about in today's video, we have made a full review video on, so you guys can head over to the channel and check those out if you're interested. Anyways, whether you're looking for big solar gear or even just small solar gear, today we got you covered. Let's jump into it. First up, we got the Rich Solar Alpha 5 Pro. This is a 48 volt, 100 amp hour server rack battery, and honestly, it's one of our favorite batteries we have here at the lab. These batteries are thinner and sleeker than traditional server rack batteries. They don't take up as much room. This one has a super nice touchscreen. All the connections and ports and communication is all very easy to access and understand. Not only does it have traditional server rack handles on the front, it actually has handles on the side as well, so you can actually manage to move this thing around without pinching your fingers and wanting to chuck it right in the trash. And this one is UL listed, which is huge if you're trying to install a legal system. It also fits into their server rack cabinet, which we have, which is our favorite server rack cabinet right now. It's got a nice clear front door that you can see all the batteries directly through. Every side of that cabinet pops off, so you can access and service anything without having to kind of go in from the top or the bottom and pull batteries out. It's a great build. It's really compact and we really like it. And right now you can get a battery like this for about 1,400 bucks. Hopefully Black Friday plus our discount code will get it even a little bit less. Next up, we got the EG4 LL server rack battery. This is another 48 volt, 100 amp hour battery. You can also get this battery in both 12 and 24 volts, which is cool. Same design, different voltage. This is a super popular battery. The screen is simple but easy to use. It's got little touch buttons underneath. The construction of everything is like nice and solid. It performed really well in all of our testing. It has all your classic safety features. You got your BMS, which keeps it from like cold and hot protections. You also have fire arresters built directly into this battery, which is what helps make it UL listed. We also really like that specifically on this battery, the battery communication cables come out the side. So when you have it in a server rack cabinet, it's a lot cleaner than a battery that communication cables come out the front. Then you just kind of have wires like everywhere. With this kind of battery, all the wires come out the sides and connect them, and so when you look in, it looks very clean. It is a little more expensive, same as the Rich Solar, than some of the other options out there, but we do struggle to recommend other products to you guys because a lot of companies just don't have customer support, which is why we do lean on EG4, because there is support involved with them. So if you have a problem, you need a warranty issue or anything like that, you can actually contact someone. You're not just left for dead. And so instead of buying a cheaper battery, we would also recommend looking at even something like the Life Power 4. It's the same battery basically. It's a little bit of a different design, but it's the exact same battery. It's just about 100 bucks less because it doesn't have the screen on the front. So obviously we love looking at the screen. We do a lot of testing and stuff here at the lab. If you have a permanent setup and you don't need the screen, you can save a little bit of money going that route and you still get the exact same battery, same reputation. Right now, this thing's about 1,300 bucks. Again, hopefully Black Friday and a discount code will make it just a little bit less. And next up, we got the BigBattery Husky 2. This is honestly a really different and unique battery. They market this as a golf cart battery, which I'm sure it does a great job at being, but it's also just a 48 volt, 100 amp hour battery that is really versatile and cool for a ton of different circumstances than just a traditional server rack. Aside from functioning well and performing well in all of our testing, this is a fully weather sealed battery. Even the COM ports, when you're not using them, they have these little weather tight fittings on the front to make sure no water gets in. And all of the plates that you guys can see on the side of this battery, the handle, this metal plate, they all come off and they all move around. So you can have this little 90 bolted to the front, and then you could bolt that to a wall, you could have it bolted to the bottom, and you could bolt that to a floor, which makes this really versatile if you want to put it in like a boat or a trailer or a golf cart or whatever you want to do with it. If you're doing something that's more portable, this is a really, really cool battery option because you can bolt the batteries together and you can bolt them to something. And on top of being IP65 weather rated, it's also got heating built into it because they know that this is going to be used outdoors. They specifically designed it for golf carts, but you could do whatever you want with this. We've run solar inverters off this battery before. It works just fine. It is a little bit more expensive. It's like 1,700 bucks right now. It's a bit pricey, but it's a cool battery. And the last battery that we really, really liked this year was EG4's indoor and outdoor wall mount batteries. These are 280 amp hour batteries. They're 48 volts. They have a 14.3 kilowatt hours of storage. Obviously they have a version that's meant to be left outside. It's actually weather rated and it has self-heating and stuff like that. And then they have an indoor version if you don't need some of those features and protections. The outdoor batteries can also be paired with the Boss box if you buy a wall mount battery as of right now. The outdoor ones come with like adjustable screw feet. Ours has just permanent rubber feet because it's a little bit older, which makes it work with the Boss box, and the Boss box in and of itself is a really cool idea. They're also EMP protected at no additional cost. There's a lot of companies that charge more for EMP protection. These batteries are built with the standard of being EMP protected right out of the factory, so you don't have to pay any more, and that is another benefit that you get. They both performed really well in our testing, and we've used them with tons of different brands, inverters and stuff like that. And we've always been happy with how they perform, the simplicity of setting them up. And again, they just have that signature solar reliable support you can fall on. Next up, we're looking at inverters. This year was a very weird year for inverters. We spent over a month just commissioning inverters. There was inverters that health and safety would spend an entire week just trying to set up, which is a crazy experience really. And a lot of the time he would end up calling these companies to get support, and then he would be telling them how this stuff works and why the problem is, what do they do to solve it, and basically writing their book for solving the problem. So if anything, you guys need to subscribe and like the video just to say thanks to health and safety for being behind half of the solutions to the products that you guys are gonna buy and call in to figure out how they work, because we honestly wasted a lot of time this year doing that.
They're gonna be like, this dude's stupid if it took him a week to figure that inverter.
I know, they're gonna think you're dumb and you don't know how to commission inverters, or they're gonna understand that, like, I just don't understand how it feels like things are going backwards. Companies are sending us products and then they don't work, and then they don't know how to help us make them work. And so we're putting our time into trying to make them work and teaching them about their own product, which probably is just because China. Anyways, all this is being said because this inverter specific list might seem a little bit swayed, but that's because this year there was a lot of trash that came out, and we don't like recommending products to you guys that we wouldn't feel 100% comfortable buying ourselves. And while you may be able to get other products from other brands that save you some money or whatever, when you have problems, and we've seen how nasty some of this stuff gets, we don't wanna recommend you guys spend your hard-earned money on that and then have to deal with these problems. And the first inverter that we are going to be taking a look at is EG4's little 3K little yellow guy right here. This is a perfect beginner inverter. It outputs 120 volts. It's very simple. The screen and all the buttons are like logical and easy to use. Even with name brand inverters, sometimes you run into problems where like navigating it isn't as easy as you want it to be. This one's very easy to use. It has the little dust screens that you can remove and clean. Simple to mount, simple to commission and set up. It does exactly what you would expect it to, and you can add multiple of them together to grow your system in the future. So if you just buy one now and then you realize you want a bigger output later, you can connect the two together and continue to grow your system. You're not stuck at just this 3,000 watt size. It has gone up in price a bit since it originally launched, but we still think it's a great beginner friendly unit to buy. Sizing up, our next favorite inverter is the 6000 XP from EG4. This is the workhorse here at the lab. We actually have this thing going all the time. We have a massive solar array in the backyard wired into this inverter, and this inverter is constantly keeping the mini split running in the garage, which keeps the garage hot in the winter and cold in the summer. as well as supplies a tons of plugs and ports and outlets over there for health and safety to do all of our testing. This thing's running non-stop all the time and it performs really, really well. It has a pretty low idle consumption. It's lower than the little yellow 3000 inverter is. It has an 8,000 watt solar input. So again, it's bigger than what you can actually output, which is huge. It means you could charge your batteries and still be using the inverter at full tilt. We like that the design is easy to access all your breakers from the outside with everything closed. Still, it's all external breakers mounted there so you can do your battery, your grid, your generator, and your load breakers are all just right there on the front. You have your PV isolator on the side. The little yellow one, you still need those things externally. They're not all built in. So it's nice that everything becomes built in when you get up to this side. And overall, it's just a good unit. It works really well. It performs really well. It's easy to set up and understand. And we don't want to be on repeat, but again, Signature Solar customer support, can't go wrong. This year we also got the 12,000 XP from EG4, which is a very tall but very slim and nice inverter. It's another one from EG4, but it's a great product. This inverter, again, not only has your breakers and everything directly on the front, but this inverter actually has smart load. Basically, what that's able to do is it is able to identify based on triggers that you set up. It is able to either turn on or off something that you have attached to that breaker. Basically meaning you could have a secondary little sub inverter, right? Which would be called like AC coupling. You have a small little inverter, and when this one's running at full capacity, it kicks on the small little one, which then takes on some other additional loads. You could have it do the inverse, where when the battery is getting to a certain low percent or the inverter's working hard, you can shut off things that you don't necessarily need right now, like your EV charger, and make sure that the power goes directly to what you need your power to do. The smart load shedding is actually a really cool feature built into an inverter like this. Overall, it performed really well. It surged amazing. It's got a 24 kilowatt solar input, which is huge. Overall, great inverter. We really, really like it. And the last inverter that we really liked and would recommend to you guys from this year was the FlexBOSS lineup, both the 18 and the 21 paired with the GridBOSS. Obviously, it's a disgusting combo. We have a video on how they all kind of work if you want to go check that out and fully understand it. But basically, the FlexBOSS lineup got rid of some of the stuff that was in some other inverters that you didn't really need. Like the 18K, for example, had a 200 amp pass-through. And if you were using it in an off-grid setting, you don't need the 200 amp pass-through, but you were paying for it up front. So the FlexBOSS got rid of stuff like that 200 amp pass-through. So if you're just using the inverter off-grid, it's more cost-effective up front. They also removed things like the screen. They beefed up the internals, so you can actually start like a 5-ton air conditioner with a unit like this. You don't need like a Sure Starter or anything on it. And then if you wanted to go ahead and put it on grid or tie it into a 200 amp pass-through, the GridBOSS not only has a bunch of smart load shedding, the ability to tie into multiple inverters, it also has the 200 amp pass-through built right into it. And you can basically buy the GridBOSS for what it would have cost to go ahead and get your external disconnects and all that kind of stuff that you would have traditionally needed to legally wire in an inverter anyways, and they're all included in this. So it's a much better looking package. It makes much more sense because you get way more bang for your buck. And overall, the FlexBOSS inverters, they perform well, they work well, they're easy to set up and understand, even from like a beginner standpoint. You can get the screen for like $100 or something like that. Overall, it was a much needed evolution in the space, and we really like how EG4 did this, and we think it just makes a lot of sense, especially if you're spending a ton of money on products like this anyways. This is just a smart route to go. And moving on to panels and panel stands. Again, I think this was our favorite panel last year. We haven't had anything come out that really wowed us or impressed us beyond this one. The Sirius 415 watt, it's the one that's on the background right here on the wall. We built our entire Chiko ground mount and just riddled it with these panels. We've been putting them on every ground mount that we've basically been setting up this year because it's just a really good panel. It's really efficient. It works well. It's super durable. We put it through some pretty good durability testing. And the fact that it is bifacial really helps with production, especially in the winter. So we live in an area that does get snow, and in the winter when the ground is white and reflecting a lot of sunlight, the solar panels will pick that up from the backside as well. They just work really well, and they're a product that we genuinely recommend. You can buy them in pallets on Signature Solar's website, and they're honestly like $185 a panel. Like, how can you go wrong with that? Next up, we have the Goose mount. Unfortunately, for most Americans, this is not yet available. In our video, we asked you guys to leave comments and stuff if you wanted the Goose mount in the States. And we're trying to push them to make this available in the US because it's honestly like the best ground mount that we have ever had here at the lab. It's super versatile. It can fit any panel and you could build it up to any array size. You could start with one footing that would hold 1 or 2 panels depending on how big they are. And then you can add footings depending on how big you want the system to go. They adjust angle really nicely and securely. It's not like a kind of a gimmicky thing like you would trust it. It's got the biggest footing that we have seen on a solar panel ground mount, which just means it's gonna be stable. You can mount it to whatever you want. We have it on a little wheelie cart in the backyard, but you could also permanently mount it to something a little bit more permanent. And if you're in Canada or you are willing to pay the duties in right now to import it, it is an amazing product. Next up, we have the IntegraRack IR30. This is probably the most versatile, simple solar panel mount on the market. It's super lightweight. It's made of aluminum and stainless steel. It's a very simple design to build. There's just literally a cross piece on the bottom and you bolt your 2 uprights to it and you're done. There is no limit to what you can do with these. They don't have a set width apart that they have to be. They're sold by the individual leg. So you could mount a small panel and have them close together. You can mount a massive panel and have them really far apart. They say they work with up to 800-watt solar panels. And again, there's just no limits to what you can do with this. They're pretty cheap, especially if you look at something like the power rack, that still needs to be filled with rocks or aggregate or whatever you're gonna put in there. You can just get up to the IntegraRack. It looks way sleeker. It's able to be mounted a little bit more permanently. And you could have like an 800-watt panel and then a 200-watt panel side by side, and it doesn't matter. Like there's no rules with this system. You can kind of do whatever you want. And right now you can get this system for like 119 bucks a leg. Our discount code makes it a little cheaper. And when you look at that compared to the price of a power rack, once you get the power rack, figure out what you're gonna fill it with and do all your other stuff, your price is pretty similar and it just looks like a recycling bin. At least with the IntegraRack, you have something that looks legit. And the final ground mount that we really liked this year was the Chiko ground mount. Was it expensive? Yes. Was it kind of confusing and hard to set up?
Yep.
Yes. But somehow it still made the list because once all was said and done, it was a good product. It was missing hardware when it showed up. We had to make multiple trips to the store to pick up like nuts and bolts and stuff that it didn't come with. The instructions were terribly labeled. It was confusing and the whole team spent like 2 days building it. And there was a time where it was like halfway done and it had to be undone and all flipped around and reassembled because the diagrams don't match the parts that you have. This isn't a perfect system by any means, and it may cause trauma trying to set it up. But once it's up, it is the most legit and like industrial thing that we have here at the lab. You can get it in a 10 or 30 panel stand kit. So we have the 31, and then you could also get a much smaller one. Again, there's no rules on how many you can have in a row. You can just keep buying more kits and tying them together and spread it out as long as you want. It's definitely an investment, but it's a great way to get a shitload of solar in a small area. Like if you look at ours, it's got those 415-watt panels. You could easily have like 800-watt panels on that thing, and you would have a massive solar grid. And the reality is it is a small portion of our backyard. Anyways, that is all of our favorite solar gear and products on the market right now in 2025. Make sure you guys take some notes and subscribe for the Black Friday video so you do not miss all of our discounts. Otherwise, that is all we got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Peace out and stay charged.